6 a.m. I woke up before my alarm clock's familiar ring. In the dim light filtering through the curtains, I gazed at my son's peaceful sleeping face beside me. Listening to Michael's gentle breathing, I quietly slipped out of bed. It's been 2 years since my son and I started our new life in this Philadelphia suburban apartment. Though our 2-bedroom isn't particularly spacious, it's filled with my son's smiles, a precious place we call home. Standing in the kitchen, I begin preparing breakfast. Today, I'll make Michael's favorite pancakes. Due to his egg allergy, I've perfected a recipe using alternative ingredients. As if drawn by the sweet aroma rising from the pan, my son wakes up earlier than usual. "Mom, I smell pancakes." Michael bursts into the kitchen, his light brown hair slightly disheveled and his big blue eyes sparkling with excitement. He's grown so tall for a 5-year-old, now reaching up to my waist. "Good morning, Michael. Go wash your hands, sweetie." Our breakfast table features chocolate chip pancakes for him and whole wheat ones for me. Sitting across from each other, we discuss today's plans. This is our precious morning routine. "You have soccer class this afternoon, right? Are you excited?" "Yes. We're having a match today. I'm wearing my dinosaur uniform." Michael's room is filled with dinosaur merchandise. The giant T-Rex plush I gave him for his birthday is still his favorite. At 8 o'clock, my mother Helen arrives. She comes with her gentle smile, carrying a tin of homemade cookies. She's my strongest ally in taking care of Michael, perfectly looking after my grandson using her experience from years of working as an elementary school administrative staff. "Have a good day at work, Rebecca. Don't worry about Michael, I've got him." Encouraged by my mother's words, I head to my job at the cosmetics company, Beauty Innovation. As a marketing manager, I handle everything from new product planning to promotion. I arrange my shoulder-length brown hair and put on my glasses that give me an intelligent look. Despite my busy workdays, I never fail to make time for my son. I always return home by 6 in the evening to have dinner together. Reading picture books after bath time remains our unchanging daily routine. On weekends, I try to follow Michael's wishes as much as possible. Saturday mornings begin with special pancakes, followed by playtime at the nearby park. Sundays are for visits to the zoo or science museum, where we always spend extra time at his favorite dinosaur exhibits. This life began after my divorce from Adam was finalized. We met 7 years ago at a mutual friend's wedding party. With his sophisticated appearance and sociable personality, he captured my heart instantly. Our first date was at an upscale restaurant. 6 months later, he proposed at the same restaurant. It felt like a dream. The wedding was a grand affair at a luxury hotel with 100 guests. After our honeymoon, we started our new life in a Manhattan luxury apartment. When Michael was born, Adam was supportive of childcare, and family photos covering an entire wall reflected our happy days. However, as time passed, Adam began coming home later and later, and his infidelity came to light. His spending became reckless, and even couples counseling couldn't improve the situation. Finally, 2 years ago, we divorced. I gained custody, and Adam was granted visitation rights twice a month. Now working as a salesman at a major real estate company, Adam has started a new life with his model fiancée. Though child support payments are irregular, he appears in a suit for his twice-monthly visits, maintaining his gentlemanly demeanor with Michael. Over these 2 years, I've built a new life with my mother's help. Though managing an $1,800 rent on an $80,000 salary isn't easy, I live each day to the fullest for Michael's smile. My meticulous and responsible nature might sometimes seem strict to others, but it's all for my beloved son. On the morning of March 15th, I woke up earlier than usual. I had a 3-day business trip ahead. Lying in bed, I mentally review my preparation list. The bedside alarm clock showed 5 o'clock. Looking at my sleeping son's face beside me, even though it was just a 3-day separation, I felt a tightness in my chest. Listening to Michael's breathing, I quietly slip out of bed. When I turn on the kitchen fluorescent light, different shadows fill the room than usual. I make the pancakes slightly larger today. Using the egg-free recipe, I prepare Michael's favorite chocolate chip ones. I carefully write out 3 days' worth of meal menus and stick them to the refrigerator: Monday's gratin, Tuesday's hamburger steak, Wednesday's stew. I check each item as I place his regular medication in a special box for Helen. In the living room, I pack my suitcase with necessities. 3 copies of the presentation materials, each in clear folders. Laptop, charger, makeup pouch. I check everything according to my list. My usually meticulous nature shows even more today. Mommy, don't go. Small arms wrap around my waist from behind. When I turn around, Michael is standing there with teary eyes, clutching his beloved T-Rex plush. His small frame in pajamas is trembling. Michael, it's just 3 days. I'll be back very soon. Wait with Grandma, okay? Even at the breakfast table, Michael barely touches his pancakes, which usually disappear in an instant. With his T-Rex plush on his lap, he alternates between looking at my face and looking down. Until Helen arrives, I hug him more times than usual, as if trying to memorize the scent of his soft hair. That night, I was reading our usual dinosaur picture book in Michael's bedroom. The story was Triceratops Parent and Child. Sitting on the bed, I hold my son on my lap. The scent of soap lingers in his damp hair. At the last page, Michael looks up at my face intently. Anxiety floats in his big blue eyes. Mom, let's go to the zoo when you come back. The dinosaur exhibit is new. They say there's a baby Triceratops too. It's a promise. So be a good boy, okay? Listen to what Grandma says. I held him longer than usual before putting him to bed. In the gentle light of the star-shaped lamp casting shadows on the ceiling, I resist the urge to keep watching his sleeping face a little longer and leave the room. The next morning, as departure time approaches, I give Helen detailed instructions. At the kitchen table, we go through each item on my written memo. Mom, his allergy medicine is in this box. 1 pill morning and night. All emergency contacts are on the list, including Dr. Watson's number. Preschool pickup is at 3. Don't worry, Rebecca. Focus on your work. I've got Michael covered. Though reassured by my mother's calm voice, my hands shake slightly as I put on my shoes at the entrance. Michael stands there wearing his dinosaur backpack. I can see his eyes are slightly red. Mom, don't forget my souvenir. I want a dinosaur toy. Michael waves with a smile. My mother and son see me off at the entrance until I get in the taxi. Their figures in the back seat window grow smaller and smaller. That day went smoothly. The presentation preparation proceeded as planned, and the client meeting went well. At night, I could hear Michael's cheerful voice through video chat. He happily tells me about the cookies Grandma made, his eyes sparkling. Even through the screen, my son's smile saves me. The second day, the morning meeting ended without issues. During lunch break, I talked with Michael on the phone and heard about his soccer class. He explains with an excited voice about learning new techniques. But when I tried video chat at night, we couldn't connect, and instead, I got an email from Mom. Michael's already asleep. Though slightly concerned, I decided to trust Mom. On the third day, the final presentation was also successful. With relief, I choose a dinosaur figure as Michael's souvenir at the airport. He'll be so happy when he sees this. However, from early afternoon, I couldn't reach Mom. The phone won't connect no matter how many times I try. Getting worried, I wrap up work early and change to an earlier 5 p.m. flight. As a light rain begins to fall from Philadelphia's night sky, the taxi arrives at my apartment building. While getting out with my heavy suitcase, feeling the fatigue of 3 days, a bizarre scene catches my eye. 3 police cars were parked in front of the building. Red and blue lights cast ominous reflections on the rain-slicked pavement. 6 uniformed officers wait with a serious demeanor. Neighbors peer anxiously from their windows, creating a nightmare-like scene. Rebecca Williams. As I turn around, a middle-aged officer approaches. Suddenly, cold metal touches my wrists. A clicking sound instantly changes my world. You're under arrest. The charge is the murder of your son, Michael Williams. All time stops within me. I can't breathe. My mind goes blank. That's impossible. My son is at my mother's house. At my words, the officers pause momentarily. In the light rain, the police cars' red and blue lights cast an eerie glow on the pavement. Could you please provide your mother's address? With a trembling voice, I give them my mother's address and phone number. A female officer begins making radio contact. From the apartment windows, I can see the shadows of residents watching with curiosity. The shopping bag with the dinosaur figure souvenir lies on the wet asphalt. A few minutes later, the female officer's expression changes. Ms. Williams, we've checked with your mother. Michael isn't there. What? At these sudden words, my mind goes blank. That can't be. Michael should be with Mom. We've asked your mother to come to the police station as well. We'll discuss the details there. The officers guide my confused self to the police car. The sound of raindrops hitting the back seat window. The cold feel of handcuffs. Everything feels like a nightmare. Arriving at the city police headquarters, my mother was already waiting. Her usually calm face was red from crying, with deep wrinkles and dark circles under her eyes. Rebecca. Mom rushes over. The officers escort us to an interrogation room. Metal table and chairs dimly gleam under fluorescent lights in the narrow room. The wall clock points to midnight. Only the ticking of the second hand echoes in the heavy air. Tell us everything. What happened? A middle-aged male detective and a female detective in her 40s sit across from us. Mom's shoulders begin to shake. Thursday morning, Adam came to the house. Said he had a surprise for Michael. Something about special plans for the weekend visitation. Mom's voice trembles. My heart begins to pound violently. He was his usual gentlemanly self, properly dressed in a suit. Michael was so happy. I trusted him. What time was this? 10 a.m. He promised to return in 2 hours. Michael wore his dinosaur backpack, looking so happy. He said, "It's a secret from Mommy," with a smile. Mom's voice breaks with tears. A dull pain shoots through my chest. But they didn't come back. The phone stopped working. I couldn't tell Rebecca, because she had important work. Friday morning, I finally reported it to the police. But the security camera footage, just that part was erased. Mom. I grip my mother's hands. The warm touch only heightens the cruelty of reality. At that moment, the room's door opens, and the female detective enters with an evidence envelope. Mom's face turns even paler. These are the child's clothes found at the scene, with blood stains. What was taken from the envelope was undoubtedly Michael's clothes. The same ones he wore to soccer class on Wednesday. A blue t-shirt with a dinosaur patch. My eyes fix on the part said to have blood stains. Here are the DNA test results. The blood type matches the victim's. More evidence items are presented one after another. Security camera footage was also prepared, but as Mom said, crucial parts were missing. The room begins to spin. Nausea rises. I would never kill. Michael is my everything. My voice shakes. Tears won't stop. I cover my pale, fatigued face with both hands, but there's no escaping reality. The cold air of the interrogation room envelopes my entire body. As dawn breaks, court-appointed defender Thomas Brown appears. A tired-looking man in his late 50s. He begins explaining in a calm voice that reflects his 20 years of experience. His gray suit is wrinkled, showing signs of working through the night. The evidence currently works against us. Bail will be difficult. I advise against making any further statements. However, your mother's testimony is on record. The truth will surely come to light. Though feeling a slight hope at those words, by the time I was transferred to detention, events in the outside world were rapidly unfolding. News on the dayroom TV: elite female manager kills son, limits of balancing work and childcare. Perfect mother's hidden face. Each station competed to report. Major newspapers also covered the incident on their front pages. My photo taken in front of Beauty Innovation. The image of me arriving at work with a smile looks like a different person. Next to it, a smiling snapshot of Michael. A photo from a sports day that Mom had carefully preserved. Reporters must have obtained it. On social media, the hashtag #MotherKiller spreads. Should prioritize childcare over work, warning to modern women, the end of a career woman. Criticism overflows from strangers. People who don't know me throw words of condemnation based on arbitrary speculation. The company issued an indefinite suspension. My colleagues couldn't hide their disturbance, and I heard my desk belongings were packed in boxes. Would none of the co-workers I'd worked with for years believe in me anymore? Neighbors added crushing testimonies one after another. In front of reporters' microphones, people I used to exchange greetings would speak up. I often heard her scolding him strictly. There were days she came home late at night. I often heard the child crying. She seemed strange recently. Even the preschool teacher testified that Michael hadn't been himself lately. Indeed, before my trip, Michael had been more clingy than usual. Looking back now, was that? Thoughts begin to circle. Should I have been more sensitive to changes in my son? The detention cell was narrower than imagined. Even lying on the hard cot, sleep wouldn't come. Light filtering through the small window tells the passage of time. But even that light feels cold. During time spent in the cell, I repeatedly look at the photos of my son that were brought in. His smile holding the dinosaur plush. Happy expressions playing in the pool. Sweating during soccer practice. Each photo filled with precious memories. Michael, where are you? Come back to mommy. Questions disappear into the darkness. In the narrow cell, another dawn breaks. On the morning of March 21st, the light streaming into the Philadelphia Police Detention Center felt brighter than usual. Called to the visitation room for the first time in a week, I found Mom and Detective Johnson waiting. Next to the veteran detective in his 50s, Mom sat restlessly in her chair, as if having something important to say. New evidence has been found. Detective Johnson's voice carried unprecedented confidence. His partner, Detective Sarah Murphy, also showed a gentle gaze, quite different from her usual stern expression. Actually, I had recently installed security cameras at home for protection against suspicious persons. Mom's voice trembles. Her fingers gripping her notebook had turned white. I forgot to check the SD card. Last night, while cleaning the garden, I remembered the camera's existence. On the table's laptop, 2 video feeds showed the entrance and garden of Mom's house. Date and time were clearly recorded in the corner. March 17, 10 a.m. When I was preparing for my presentation at the business trip destination. The high-resolution footage showed Adam in a suit. Brooks Brothers navy suit, proper dark green tie. Speaking with Mom in his usual gentlemanly manner. Then Michael, wearing his favorite dinosaur backpack, happily bouncing as he heads outside. As they approach the car, Emily's smiling face could be seen in the passenger seat. My chest tightens at the sight of the small figure waving big goodbye. They didn't come back even after waiting. Couldn't reach Adam's phone anymore. Detective Johnson nods gravely at Mom's testimony. The detective's intuition, honed over 30 years, seemed to have grasped something. After obtaining this footage, the direction of our investigation changed dramatically. Detective Murphy opens new files. Multiple photos appear. Security camera footage from a gas station in Erie, Pennsylvania, near the Canadian border. Adam's Lexus RX is shown refueling. Adam in the driver's seat, Michael sleeping in the passenger seat, Emily in the back seat, all clearly visible. The timestamp shows 2 p.m. on the day of the incident. The security camera at the Lakeview Motel in Buffalo, New York, shows the 3 of them checking in at the front desk. Adam carrying the sleeping Michael, Emily following with luggage. They act like a real family on vacation. This was a completely planned kidnapping. And a conspiracy between the two of them. Detective Johnson explains in a quiet voice drawn from 30 years of experience. Adam and Emily had been preparing for over 6 months. Adam used his real estate industry connections to arrange for a new identity life in Toronto. Emily prepared forged documents using her modeling career connections. Together, they were trying to create a perfect new family. District Attorney Robert Clark analyzed the motive this way. This is a crime involving complex emotions. Within Adam Carter existed both a desire for revenge against his ex-wife and a distorted love for his son. Emily Brown had developed an obsession with the ideal family stemming from setbacks in her modeling career. Their twisted desires created this plan. In court, Adam received a 12-year prison sentence for kidnapping, false imprisonment, and evidence tampering, while Emily got 8 years for conspiracy. Neither appealed. All visitation rights were permanently revoked. The media unanimously apologized for their false reports. News programs that had reported on the perfect mother's hidden face aired special correction broadcasts. On social media, the hashtag #MotherKiller hashtag disappeared, replaced by hashtag StayStrongRebecca. Beauty Innovation requested my immediate return. CEO Jennifer Parker personally visited to apologize and promised company-wide support. Welcome flowers arrived from colleagues. However, healing our wounded hearts would take time. In sessions with child psychologist Dr. Sarah Brown, Michael gradually opened up. He eventually expressed his true feelings. Dad and Aunt Emily said we'd go to a new house, but I didn't want to never see Mommy and Grandma again. We moved to a new apartment in the suburbs. A unit in a high-rise with proper security. Michael's new room is larger than before, with a panoramic view of the city. Mom also moved nearby, and we keep in closer contact than ever. Michael transferred to a new preschool. Though anxious at first, he made friends who share his love of dinosaurs and slowly regained his smile. We have picnics in the park every weekend. Watching Michael run energetically under the blue sky, I feel we're definitely moving forward. One Sunday, a month later, on our way home from our usual picnic, Michael suddenly gripped my hand tightly. "Mommy, I'm not scared anymore. Because I'm with you." Those words brought tears to my eyes. In Michael's small hand, I felt our new future. The Philadelphia spring sunshine felt warmer than ever before.